Hello everyone, Randy here again, and we're playing Farming Simulator 15 on Michigan on the RDAllen multiplayer server. Just myself on at the moment. Oh, and I just filled up too. Okay. And we are chaffing corn. Working on filling up the biogas plant here, which is actually probably getting quite full. Between the fields here, 21, 26, and 25, which actually I don't know, 26 actually, or 21 might actually be something else now. We are really bringing in the chaff for the biogas plant. Now, something that might be interesting to try here, and I don't know if anybody knows this or not, or I should say knows the answer to this. I wonder if you can chaff sunflowers. Yeah, it'd be interesting to try grabbing the other header there and just see if it's even possible. I believe, yeah, we have the other header sitting right there. The Crone X disc. Okay, we got a nice open bunker here for us to start on. And surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, it does not take too long to fill a bunker. This map could almost use the Munchwinkle-sized bunkers on it. And the Munchwinkle-sized bunkers I'm talking about, by the way, were the 6 million liter sized bunkers. Now, the one thing this map does have, and I often forget about it, it does actually have 2 biogas plants. As what we call the North Biogas Plant here, and then there is one down called the South Biogas Plant down to the east of the flour mill there. Anyway, silage selling technique, as you can see, we're kind of doing something similar to what I do on my single player there on Sosnovka. Got the old conveyor belt going, and then just a nice lineup of trailers. And there is, let's see, 6. 1, 2, yeah, 6, or well, 5 trailers, and then the truck. So I always say 6 because I mean the truck has a trailer on it too. So is it glitched in? Nope. Okay, good. Checking to make sure the tractor wasn't glitched in there. Okay. And just so we're not chapping the whole episode here, we'll demonstrate how this works. And how full is this? It doesn't look like it's full. Actually, you know what? I don't actually have to get in it to see. I don't know why, but I always forget that. I can just look up at the glance spot, and it is 189,000 silage in there. That trailer setup there works really nice. These bunkers hold 600,000 liters, at least up at full anyway. And yes, this one is full. Okay, why do I have... Oh, the 6. That must be the conveyor belt, I'm guessing. That's showing the 6 there. I was like, why in the world is it showing 6? Oh, that don't make sense. Oh, is it from this one yet? Ah, okay. There's 6 in here yet. Yay. Hopefully that won't be a problem. That's one thing we've been fortunate about here on this map so far. We have not had any issues with bunkers messing up. You folks may recall all the times we played multiplayer. Seems like every single server, at least the ones we've done at least biogas work planting on, almost always had a couple of bunkers that have gone south on us, and we can no longer use. Either I have to fix them, or we just kind of, oh well, I guess we don't use those bunkers anymore. So far, we have not had this with this map, so... Okay. We'll move our compacting tractor out of the way. Yes, our case quad tractor has been reduced to compacting duty. Mind you, I think we got like 3 or 4 more of these around the map somewhere, but this is our compacting tractor. Actually works quite well. The tractor by itself is quite heavy. Then you can see someone threw a back weight and a front weight on it. Which of course begs the question, can I throw another front weight on here? I haven't taken the time to try, but I'd be curious to know. Okay, looks like the next one needs some in it. Probably should have started a little more on the end, in the middle. Okay. Of course, the one slight issue with this trailer setup is actually seeing all your trailers to see what's actually going on. Oh, and we are full. Okay. And as somebody put it, looks like a great big snake following behind you. It does indeed. Does mean you need to kind of watch what you're doing a little more. Plan ahead. Don't take any too excessively sharp turns with objects on them, such as around a tree or something. You'll probably end up getting bound up somewhere. And before you folks all start shouting, hey, whoa, 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 biogas, cell point, right there on the ground. Quite aware of that. We're not going there. Reason being, and for you folks that have obviously done biogas plant work will know, holds 20,000. So how am I going to get 210,000 liters in there? Well, we're going to go sell it somewhere else. Now, yes, I could probably speed up time, and we could probably get it sold fast enough, maybe. I'm not sure you can actually speed up time fast enough to accommodate the unloading here. I'm not sure. I haven't actually tried that. But what we can do on this map is we're heading to ADM Rail. I think there's actually a couple different spots that accept silage, but ADM Rail probably the closest. Unless the garden center accepts it, that might be closer yet, but I know ADM Rail accepts it, and that is at least one slightly close location. At least when you consider this is a 4X map, it is sort of close. And also, when you have this many trailers, go easy on the brakes. Or at least what's left of them anyway. Stopping definitely seems to be a bit of an issue, shall we say. And yes, I'm zoomed out as far as I can zoom out here. So. And just out of curiosity, before we start selling, what is the silage price looking like? Silage, 522. Oh, composting, 653. Now, one thing the ADM rail does double, I'm not sure if it doubles silage, though. I've not actually taken the time to do that. What I probably should have done is pulled that lever there a moment, just to make sure there's nothing here. Sold the silage and then pulled it again. That would have answered my question, but yeah, basically using this truck setup here, 3 trips back and forth to the ADM rail, and you will have the whole bunker and a little bit of extra unloaded and sold. And if you folks look at the map from the last time we played, well, you can probably see we picked up a couple of more fields again. So, and speaking of fields, we got field 28, which we had planted, and you can see we're almost done harvesting it. We were working on that yesterday. When I left the server, most of 28 here was harvested, and I see whoever was on yet finished harvesting the rest of 28. So that was definitely took a while, shall we say. Okay, and now that we're about $100,000 richer again, and of course you could obviously add more trailers to the setup if you wanted to. This seems like a pretty good number of trailers, if you ask me. You start adding too many, and yeah, it just gets a little bit harder to control. Harder, to line up, harder to get across the sell point. Now, 3 trips back and forth to the biogas plant, that's not too bad in my opinion. Also, for this video, trying another little bit different audio setup again. Still trying to figure out where I'm getting, and some of you folks kind of called it the tin can effect. Pretty much I would say that's correct, kind of a tin can sounding effect every now and then. It's not like constant, but every now and then something's not 100% right, and I have not been able to figure out what that is yet. So, trying something a little different again. Seeing if I can tease out where the issue is lying. So, I've not quite been able to figure that out yet. Okay, I'm just going to park the truck out here for the moment. Okay, into the pole, I guess. Let's, not do that. Gets a little crowded in the biogas plant there with everything in there sometimes. Also, server-wise, for the next map, probably this week sometime, probably later in the week, I'm thinking we'll probably be switching over the map. So, for you folks looking for the next map, look forward to that here probably end of this week sometime. It'll probably take me a day or two, I'm thinking, to switch it over. I've got quite a large selection of mods to upload to the server. And then I'll probably want to make sure I kind of test it just a little bit, make sure everything's somewhat stable. With the number of mods that we'll be adding, I suspect we might have some issues. So I have tested them somewhat single player, and I'm not seeing any issues, but that doesn't mean it will work multiplayer. So, multiplayer with mods is basically a whole different challenge. It requires mod authors to be a little more diligent in their work. Put it that way. What you can get away with single player, you can't necessarily get away with multiplayer. And, depending on how careful the mod author is, sometimes that doesn't work out so well. And we're using the Crone 580 here. This is from the mod contest. Very nicely detailed Crone, I will have to say. Also, I've kind of gotten a little bit of a question from people. I've had a couple people ask this now. Not necessarily in the way I'm going to ask it here, but they've kind of been wondering, hey, is everything on the server here legitimate? Meaning, have I cheated in money to buy this stuff? Short answer is no. Long answer is still no. However, we actually, when we started the server, for those of you who start a Michigan map server, or just a Michigan map game, I should say, you'll know this game comes with a lot of nice equipment. You get, I think there's like choppers, combines. I mean, you get all the big equipment. Well, when we started the map here, and if folks go way back and look like probably episode 2 or 3, I'm thinking it was, you'll see that we actually downgraded. At least that's what I'm calling it. We sold all the nice equipment. We bought some small to medium-sized equipment and got rid of the rest of the money. We didn't quite go with like the small equipment. We started out with like mostly, we'll say 6-meter wide equipment. Didn't quite want to kill ourselves off, so to speak, with a 3-meter planter and a small combine. But we actually significantly downgraded. So what you see on this map, we actually worked up from small to medium-sized equipment to what we have now. And yeah, for those of you that joined us on the server, you'll see we have quite a bit of nice large equipment, especially trucks. I don't know why, but like we have a lot of trucks. If you look at the group 1 there is, is there 8 Kenworths just in that group alone? You go to group 4, we have our kind of transporting equipment. And then if you look through the rest of the groups, there's a couple other Kenworths and other trucks scattered about. Plus, there's probably a couple that are... I guess there's actually none that are unassigned, but... As you can see, we do actually have quite a bit of equipment. We have several potato harvesters, a couple beet harvesters. I would actually say we actually did quite well this season on this map. Anyway, I got what I thought was a rather interesting email here the other day. You folks may recall I had some troubles with my internet here earlier this month, and actually still have been having some troubles here on and off a bit lately. Not quite as bad as earlier, but definitely not 100% yet. Anyway, I got an email from my internet service provider, ISP, the other day. And they sent me a letter, and I just thought I'd read this because I thought it was kind of interesting. So, dear Mishwave customers, we wanted to inform you that over the last couple of weeks you may have noticed some unusually long outages in the 1 to 3 hour range. I'd like to insert a little note here on my own that, yeah, I definitely noticed that, and I would say 1 to 3 hours might have been pushing short side of the stick. But anyway, watch I'm driving here too. We will try to explain in the simplest terms the reasons why Mishwave has been getting that Mishwave is getting essentially attacked from unknown perpetrators with a method called DDoS, denial of service. And let me get this emptied here a moment, and I'll continue eating. For straw, I actually don't think we have a whole lot of straw. Anyway, back to the letter again. You know, Mishwave has been essentially getting attacked by DDoS attacks, denial of service attacks. This is where thousands of devices around the world send data streams of, say, 300 kilobytes of traffic to Mishwave or a Mishwave customer's IP address all at once, equating to around 2 to 10 gigabits of traffic or more. What this causes is essentially a complete outage for your internet connection. We are working with our upstream fiber providers to engineer some mitigation strategies to resolve this moving forward. It says, however, each strategy that we plan to implement takes varying amounts of time, and basically says there will be some more outages coming up because of this. So, yeah, I thought that was rather interesting. They are getting hit by DDoS attacks. You know, I'm kind of course, curious as to why someone would want to hit them with that sort of attack, considering I would call them a rather 2-bit internet provider out in the middle of nowhere. But whatever, I guess. Lars was saying, nice, can you use a wheel cam? I did try that in one of my farming sim videos. I mean, it turned out, I guess. But unless I can find a better setup, you probably won't see that too often. Cube 9000. I do not get what people like about this game. Well, I'm guessing you probably never played it then. Anyway, I know I've mentioned this before, the reason I like this game, it's kind of just a nice, quiet, simple game. You sit down and you can play and relax. And if you think a game like Battlefield, that's not really a game you're going to sit down and relax on. I mean, don't get me wrong, fun to play, but a relaxing game I would not call it. Whereas this game, I would say a relaxing type of game. Especially when you're lazy like me here, using the GPS mod to chaff corn. Okay, on my latest video, you folks may notice I did not upload a farming sim video there yesterday. Had a little project out in the barn, decided to upload that video. Paul was saying I cringed every time you use the knife on the nylon zip. Use side cutters, it's safer. Yeah, but that would mean I'd have to go walk over to the toolbox to get a pair of side cutters. That sounds like too much work. And plus, in my defense, I think in all the times I've used a knife, and I use a knife a lot, I mean, like constantly at work, I'm using knives to cut stuff open. I think I maybe only cut myself with a utility knife once or twice. And none of those times were really that bad. Most of my cuts and lacerations occur from cardboard and other sharp edges not related to knives. Samuel's asking, what is the cat's name? Our cats really don't have names, really. Our cats' names tend to be, that's the black cat, that's the brown cat, and that's the cat with tiger stripes, and that's about all the names our cats get. Also, last episode on Sosnovka, we tried chopping a couple of trees down there and chipping them up. A couple of you folks commented as to why I was not getting wood chips. And to be honest, this really didn't occur to me. But most people were saying you actually have to have the tipper on the back of the trailer chippers on. Or I guess you could theoretically maybe do it the other way around. You could put the tipper on the front and the chipper on the back, maybe if you want like some weird setup. But Rich was saying, I found out the trailer has to be on the tractor. I just run the chipper up into the tree and it disappeared. Also, that's a comment I will say too. Someone said there's a newer version out. So I have actually downloaded that. I'll have to check that out sometime. But there's a new version of that Brooks chipper out. Supposed to be even more, I would say, cheatish. Kyle saying, I think I need another John Deere tractor now. I think he's right on that. More John Deere tractors, the better. Someone with no name again. And this individual probably actually has a name. Yeah, it seems like YouTube is being funny sometimes and not showing me the name, but says great video. Thank you very much for that. Yes, it was Terry here that commented and said, the latest version on Mod Hub, the chipper does cut, chip, and remove the stumps. Also has a front loader version as well. Says he's only used it with a trailer behind the tractor. Which I find kind of odd. I don't know why it would not work just sitting next to it like that. That seems kind of odd to me, but I guess everybody's saying you need to actually have the tipper on the back of the trailer. I will have to keep that in mind in the future when I use that chipper. You know, mind you, not that I'm really too heartbroken that I didn't get any wood chips. Like I mentioned, Sosnovka there, I don't really plan on doing any forestry. It was just those couple of annoying trees up there that were always catching the hired workers. Obey Redneck was asking, where did you get your steering wheel and side panel? I got it from Mad Cats. Straight from the source, shall we say. Grandpa's Game was saying, great job, haven't commented in a while. Says he's been lurking around, and he's been playing on a map called Graceland. Yes, I remember that map from 2015, very nice map. I don't think I did videos on that map, but I have played on it. 4X map, if I remember correctly, a very large map. Unless I'm thinking of a different map. I think that was a 4X map. But yes, a very, very nice map back in 2013, and not played it on in 2015, so I'm not sure what it looks like, but Paul saying, sounds like the bass is cutting in and out on your mic. Yeah, I'm not sure what's cutting in and out, but I'm said earlier in the video here, I'm going to try and see if I can tease out what is actually causing the issue. So trying a little different setup here again. You know, basically a process of elimination, hopefully. Someone says your sound's not quite right yet. You'd be correct on that. And also someone said it sounded like a tin can at times. Again, no name of that, so I'm not sure who that was. Bob the Frog said, what a load of crap. Yeah, so you like that on Sosnovka there? Anyway, folks, looking at time, looks like we better wrap up the episode there. If you folks have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them below. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time.